Good day to all of you. My name is Tamara Gatson. I am the president of Gatson Training Associates. Our headquarters is in Conyers, Georgia, but we now offer our classes worldwide. For over 10 years, we've been providing quality education to insurance professionals throughout the country. Today, I'm here to give you my 8 highly effective study tips that I have gathered over the years from students who have been extremely successful in passing their insurance exam on the first attempt. The first tip is to adopt a winning attitude. That's very important because you want to think very positively going into taking the exam. Remind yourself of all of the great things that you've accomplished along the way. Maybe your high school or college graduation or jobs that you were able to obtain. All of that will go into play with reminding yourself that you can also be successful while taking this exam. This hopefully will become one of many insurance licenses that you will be able to obtain. So start with the winning attitude and you're way more likely to win. Number 2, you have to create a place to study. That place could be home, it could be the office, it could be at a place where you can have coffee or something light to eat, but you want to avoid rooms with distractions, like rooms where the television is on, or trying to use social media at the same time you study is also not a good idea. So I recommend that you create some type of quiet space that will allow you to focus on the material that you will need in order to pass the exam. My third tip is to have everything you need handy. That's your notebooks, your exam manuals, your highlighters, your pencils, etc. All of this information should be right there with you. Students who register for our online classes are not just in a typical online classroom setting. They actually receive some of the study material that we know will help them be successful. One of them is an exam manual. But other than that, you'll need pen, paper, notepad, etc. handy. So you may want to consider a bag or a book bag to take along with you while you're preparing. Now, our fourth tip is to use fun memory games. Flashcards will work perfectly for you to do so. My students are always instructed on creating flashcards or note cards to help them along the way. And with our online course, I actually tell all of my students what note cards I recommend for each section. So a typical note card may say 4 ways of managing risk. And on the back of it, it will list the 4 ways that your manual or your information that you were provided will show. That is important because a memory game helps you to remember the pieces of information a little bit better. Number 5, I have over the years had students come and sit in the classroom and take no notes. Well, you probably can guess those were my least successful students. In order to retain information, your brain requires you to process it in a few different ways. One is reading. One is remembering it by going back over it once or twice and using some type of practice examples to help you get there. And of course, another method is by writing things down. So taking notes and writing down examples will help you to remember the concepts and most importantly, help you to pass the exam. Our 6th tip is to practice by yourself or with friends. The online practice exams that our school, as well as many other online providers, will provide you is a great way for you to practice alone. You can also ask a friend to help you along the way. Sometimes it helps to have someone else give you that little added push that you may need. Our 7th tip is to create a study schedule and stick to it. This means that you have to be very disciplined in order to pass the exam. Some of you are taking this course and exam and you come into the industry with some experience. But this entire course is what I like to call a what is insurance course. So you may be familiar with some of the topics, but not familiar with all. So I am still going to recommend that you set a study schedule, and everyone, whether you have no experience, no insurance experience, or some, you have to create a schedule and stick to it. Dedicate the time necessary to be successful. You need to read and take some time to study each day. Our recommendations are you do all of this within 10 to 12 days at the most. Most states will allow you up to a year after taking the course to take the exam. but a year is way too long. I would say even a month after taking the class could be a little too long for many. That is because over time, you'll begin to forget some of the information that you've already learned. And many times, students start to restudy information or become confused over time. So within about 10 days, that's a good time frame from the start of the course to when you schedule your exam. The last tip is the most important tip that I want you to remember. The last tip is to strategize. That is very important on insurance state exams because each state has an online provider, administrator, who has created an outline for how their exam will be administered. You should be aware ahead of time what questions will come out of which sections and exactly how many questions you'll be tested on in each area. You want to focus your time and attention on the areas that you'll be tested on. All of my students get the exam outline for the state that they're taking. But for those of you who are not taking our online class, you can find this information very easily by just going to the testing administrator site. In Georgia, our testing administrator is Pearson VUE. I put another example for Florida. You'll see theirs there as well. But I put a quick example on the top of this page showing you how the outline will look, a small portion of it. And it says, Georgia Property and Casualty Agent Content Outline. There's 80 scoreable questions plus 20 pre-test questions. That's a total of 100 multiple choice questions. Only 80 will be graded. And under Roman numeral 1, it talks about property questions. The students will receive 18 questions in that section. That's very important because you don't want to spend hours studying a formula in which the exam administrator have said you won't have any questions on. So focus and strategize. That's our last tip and definitely one of the most effective ways to make sure that you pass the exam on the first attempt. Now, I'm going to leave you with this. All of this is up to you. I don't know one person out of all my years of teaching who wants to be a licensed insurance professional and does not have the license. That means if you want it, you can get it. The decision is up to you. Everything you need is provided to you. If you take our course or any other class, most of the material is there. It is now up to you to decide to win and to make sure that you fully understand the concepts before sitting for the state exam. Now, I definitely hope you guys can join us. Our online university is insurancelicensednow.com at the bottom of this screen. Feel free to reach out, contact us, or ask any questions that you may have along the way. Good luck to each of you.